What's going on, everybody? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Fourth and Goal Sports Show. I'm your host, Tyrus Filson, back again with another live. It is mock draft Monday. I'm joined by my usual guest, Jalen Graham, William, joining us again. Um, we're just gonna chop it up tonight, man. The draft is approaching. It's the last day of March. April is it's here, and today is March 31st, and the draft is coming. It's approaching, and before you know it, it's gonna be draft time. It's here. But I just wanted to get you guys' thoughts. How do you feel about the draft rumors? How do you feel about everything that's going on? Like who are some of the best prospects that you guys think of when you're hearing about this draft class?
To me, this class is just loaded at a bunch of different positions. Like the tackles, it's like probably about good 10 that has a chance to start on any team in the NFL right now. Um, the position that's really going to be looked at the most, I would say, is either between the quarterbacks and DNs. Quarterbacks, that's like in every mock draft every year, quarterback's gonna be like the most looked at position and stuff. But in this mock draft, like in this draft and stuff, I would say with Shador, like it was some people who were saying Shador has a chance to fall to the back end of the first round and stuff. And there's some people who think that Sador is better than Cam Ward. So it's like right now up in the air who's going to be number one pick. To me, I feel like it should automatically be Cam Ward. But there's people who probably feel like Shador should be picked number one or Abdul Carter. But yeah, I definitely feel like this, you know, draft class is deep at a lot of different positions and stuff. But the position I'm looked at is probably quarterback, I say.
Oh yeah, quarterback's going number one for sure. I'm gonna get to that soon. Yeah,
Yeah, I think
Jalen.
every year it's like that for almost every year.
Yeah, it sure
Yeah.
does seem that way because I feel like it instead of the NFL draft first pick being like the best player available, it's always going to be the most valuable player.
Yeah, I say the
Um,
same thing because a quarterback might not be the best player at in the draft, but because it's the most valuable position and every team wants a good quarterback, it's going to be like the first name someone hears off the board. Although I would say Abdul Carter or Austin Genty, one of those two are probably the best players in this class. Quarterback, like, is definitely going to be number one just because of like the position value.
yeah, for me, just getting right into it, the player in which I think is the best player overall in this class, I'll give you my one and my two. My number one is Travis Hunter. My number two is Abdul Carter. Like just for overall pound for pound, the best top two players in this class, I'll give it to those two. And
Mm.
but to get right into it, to go ahead and start it right off. First pick, Tennessee Titans are on the clock, guys. Who would you take? Because I mean, there's plenty of options. You could trade back. Like I said, I got it pulled up right now. We have the option to trade back. We have the option to take Shador, Cam, Trap. We could do anything. What should the Titans do? For me, I said the Titans. I think the Titans are going to go Cam Ward number one overall.
I agree. I say
Yeah,
Cam Ward because Cam Ward, he's again like I said, quarterback's gonna be the most like looked at to me the most like okay, they want to know who's going number one. Well, it's obviously gonna be a quarterback because it's the most valuable position. So Titans just getting that position like secured and stuff, knowing that okay, Cam Ward he might not be the best player in in this draft class, but he will bring the most value to the team, I should say. And just getting that position locked up because Will Levis, they know Will Levis not the answer. Like they was hoping he was the answer, but all he do is just eat mayo and stuff. He's not the answer. He's not the real answer to the Tennessee Titans. So I say just getting Cam Ward locking up, that position with Cam Ward. I say will be a right move for the Titans.
I mean, I was rooting for him too. I was hoping that was able to turn into something, but I don't think he was unable to. I don't know. He was unable to. I mean, he looked good at first, but then like he started to make bad decisions
You
and
don't have to cast
turnovers.
it alive. He was never good.
No,
He was
like
never good. He was
as a
never.
rookie
I mean, he
quarterback
showed
coming in.
polished, like, he showed highlights here and there of
Yeah, that's what I said. As a
being
rookie
like,
quarterback
yeah,
coming in, I mean, like he showed like game manager, like a game manager skill set. I remember I was
but
watching him play Pittsburgh,
but
and
Titans, they don't need that. They need someone who, because Derrick Henry, I could see them doing that with Derrick Henry, but not having Derrick Henry where you could just rely on that run game. You need a quarterback that can actually win you ball
I think they
games
had
instead of
Derek
saying,
at this time too. But I mean,
yeah,
either here or there. Well, I was hoping he was, but he's definitely not the answer. So I think I agree with them going with Cam Ward. It's their first pick.
yeah.
So Cam number one.
I say Cam number one.
Yeah,
My number one. Yeah,
We're all agreeing Cam number one.
yeah.
yeah.
Got you. Yeah, Will Levis just he doesn't get the job done. He's not gonna get them over the hump.
He's not
I seen him play live. He
against.
actually
Yeah, I did
he did
too.
okay against us, but like, oh, you was there? You was there live?
Yeah, the Tennessee Titans versus Commanders game last year. I was there.
No, I'm talking about this year. Or are you
I
talking
mean, well,
about?
this past year when we played the Titans this past year.
Oh, okay, you was there. Okay, bet.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
They
I
so y'all
remember
both
that
was
game.
there.
was you was there via the school?
No, I wasn't there. See, that's the crazy part because me and my dad, we went there like separately without the school, but I was hearing like some friends and stuff. They was like, "Oh yeah, the whole school going up to the Commanders game and stuff." I was like, "For real?" Like I didn't know. So
Oh
it
yeah,
was
yeah,
just
yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, I think that Cam Ward number one, it makes so much sense. Going to number two, I don't want to waste time. Going to number two, I'm gonna say this, guys. This might be unconventional for a lot of people. People might not rock with this, but because like I had to backtrack. See, last live that I did with Will Jalen, I don't know if you've seen that. We were talking about the Browns paying Miles Garrett all that money, and
Yeah,
it's like it kind of puts them in a position where they
I think I
have to
was
draft quarterback.
there for one of those conversations. I might have been
You said
there.
you said what?
I said I think I was there for one of those
No,
conversations.
okay, well, this one was a one-on-one with me and Will, and I basically was saying how like the Browns kind of are forced to now have to draft the QB, but I'm gonna have to backtrack on that because I've done recent mocks that I haven't released fully yet. That's why we're doing this right here, right now. So number two overall to the Cleveland Browns, I got edge rusher Abdul Carter. I think that the
Abdul
Browns
What?
go
Carter.
Abdul Carter,
What?
and hear me out. They go
What?
Abdul Carter, number two overall, put him on the other side of Miles Garrett, and in the second round, I'm gonna get to that. In the second round, they go get their quarterback in the second round.
No, that's stupid.
I don't like that.
That's
I say
dumb.
it should be backwards.
I mean, it'd be fitting for an organization such as Cleveland, but for Cleveland to go ahead and skip out on getting a quarterback right now, and
Let me tell you why. Though. Let me tell you why. Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, has already made it clear Shador's not playing in Cleveland. He's not. And the only other quarterback after that is Jackson Dart. I don't think Jackson Dart is I
first
respect
off,
Jackson Dart, but you don't take him at two.
how you going to talk about he's not playing where he going to play where he get drafted?
But hey, look at the Eli Manning situation. Look at that. He forced his way.
I
There,
got
Like it,
yeah.
yeah.
I
Yeah, I
don't.
do agree though. I mean, see, okay, so my standpoint is Cleveland, you paying Miles Garrett, a non-quarterback, by the way, what, $40 million per year, something like that now? If you're paying a non-quarterback quarterback money, I feel like you should at least be like, okay, we have to have some type of quarterback. And you did said they, will get a quarterback in, second round, but I'm like, at this point, because you don't want to be that organization that have to force a quarterback. But Cleveland, they put themselves in that predicament where they have to force a quarterback. They have to draft a quarterback number two. You draft an edge rusher, number two, like, oh, you could just literally just drafted him, like trade away Miles Garrett and then just drafted Abdul Carter. But now you're like, to me, Cleveland, they draft Abdul Carter. It's not gonna be the most smartest like general manager, plus owner, because he had a big part in this too, plus owner like decision. But I mean that's something that Cleveland would definitely do. Cleveland would be the organization to draft an edge rusher
Yeah,
and
that's what I
all the
said.
dysfunctional stuff that's going around instead of getting the most position of need, the position that's like the most need that the key position. So I
Yeah,
do.
like
In
I mean, if they do
the
put
words
another
of
dude on the other side of Miles Garrett, I can see it, and I can see it. Not like in a way of I don't think it's a good idea. Matter of fact, I think it's pretty dumb.
Mm,
And if they go ahead and make a
it's a
decision like
great
that,
idea.
I
I mean,
think we're going to continue to see the Cleveland Browns sitting at the bottom of the AFC North.
I mean,
That's where they
they
belong.
they
They
do that. They probably start,
Okay,
losing
the
they
games
only
need
first
they
reason
need
seven to
a
six.
quarterback right now. Like
let me
I don't
explain.
think you
Let me explain.
understand. They can't
The
go and
only
pay
reason
for
you're saying
one
this is
that's
dumb.
going to put them in a winning position. They can't go. Honestly, them paying Miles Garrett all that money and all quarterback player all that money is putting them in a position where it makes sense for them to draft one. If they go to the second round to draft one, they better hope they find like a hidden gem. Like at this
Yeah.
point,
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
like
saying though.
I don't.
You're
It's
not
like
seeing it. You're not seeing the vision because
You had them
Jackson
drafting
Dart,
Jackson
if
Dart.
they can
Yeah,
get
Jackson
Jackson Dart
Dart.
second round. Matter of fact, maybe we'll go to the second round so you can really see what I'm talking about. But
Or at
for
least
me,
like
from
the
the
first
Browns at
couple
this point,
picks.
the Browns the Browns literally have the first pick in the second round. They can get Jackson Dart if they want him, first of all. And not only that, I think they should sign Joe Flacco, a veteran quarterback, and draft Jackson Dart in the second round. But that's who I got them getting Abdul Carter. Going to number three.
I'll
Um,
say this about the Browns though. They draft Abdul Carter, they, will still be losing games, but they probably only lose games what now?
I mean, they're
10-7
deep.
instead of
There's
like
no quarterback that they can get at this point. Even if they get Shador, do you think that's going to make them win? They're not going to win with Shador either.
they're not gonna
Like
I
win with.
mean, it would
They're
make
not
them
gonna.
more
the
promising
division
though.
is stacked.
But that's the thing. They look when you're trying to rebuild the team. One position you don't want to like not have under control is the quarterback position because that is one of the hardest positions to get like an actual contending quarterback with like it's not like there's a lot of quarterbacks out there that can that we can see ending up going into the playoffs and being successful or just being successful in the future in general. But there's a lot of other teams that are still struggling to find a quarterback like that. So and whenever I see any team that builds, the first thing that comes first is the quarterback. The next thing is the other players around that quarterback. Like even us, like we started off when we refreshed, we brought in Lamar Jackson, and then we built around that. We didn't start off like, oh, let's get a defensive player and then to get a quarterback and then see. No, I don't think that's how that works. But hey,
Hey, Kevin
that's gonna be the
Stefanski.
second round pick. That's the second round pick. What's the third?
Yeah, 'cause I'm saying like,
Kevin
Miles Garrett.
Stefanski can make Jackson Dart a really good quarterback. Like people aren't giving Jackson Dart enough respect. Like I did my video and I shared when it comes to the top three quarterbacks in this draft class, I said that right now Cam Ward is the most NFL ready. Shador is probably the best playmaker, but the one with the highest potential is Jackson Dart out of Ole Miss. And
I'm not duking. I'm not. I'm not trying to like
Yeah, Jackson Dart,
downplay
he
Jackson
reminds me
Dart.
of
I'm
like a
just
Justin
saying
Herbert.
for organization not to like prioritize the quarterback position by just getting that out the way first. I think that's like kind of irresponsible. But
they need to draft someone who's going to cooperate and who's going to fit what they're trying to build, the culture of what they're trying to build. Not the current culture because it's trash, but
I don't know
the
what
culture.
what it is they got going on over there.
But
They
the
haven't
culture of
really
what
had
they're
like a
trying
culture
to build.
since they had Baker Mayfield.
I just don't. I'm sorry, man. I just don't see Shador fitting in there. I don't. So I'm gonna go Carter, but I don't want to harp on it too long. Going to number 3. I wish your dad was here for this one. Maybe you can show him this, but I got the Giants selecting Colorado X Factor Travis Hunter, number 3
That's what is
overall.
this? All right, I think the
I agree
Giants would
with that.
select Shador Sanders. I don't think the Giants are
They
going
got
to.
two. Hold on, they got 2 quarterbacks, and they stated, and
They
Brian
have
Dable
great
already stated that
quarterbacks.
Russ. They said that Russ is going to be the starter going into training camp. So they're not
No,
drafting a quarterback. They're not. At
They're
least not
no,
not.
first
They
round.
have
this explains everything. Oh my gosh! See, this is like I'm not the draft never happened, and not to like get all like over like a mock draft, but decisions like these are the reason why the Giants have been boo boo for as long as they have. But hey, look, I mean
I'm
they're
glad you see it,
like
bro.
honestly, talent can walk in front of their face and just backhand them. They wouldn't even see it. They literally had Jaden Daniels sitting in their office asking him, "Do you want to play? Do you want to play in New York?
But they still
Do you?"
would have had to trade up for him though.
they would have had traded for him though, and they
And
wasn't trading up
Hey,
with
look, I'm
Washington.
just saying, like they had a lot of, not to mention the Saquon incident. They end up having a lot of talent fall in their hands. All I'm saying, I mean, Travis Hunter, that's a good pick. Don't get me wrong, but like, are you really thinking? All right, let's be real. They must be either. This is what I'm thinking they're doing. If they're not getting a quarterback this year, which is probably unfortunately likely, but whatever. I think they're going for the storyline finish. I think they're going to go for Archie Manning next year.
They're definitely tanking for Archie Manning
They're definitely going
because
to be taking for Archie Manning. So if that's the case, they would probably draft someone like Travis Hunter or like somebody like that just to get like
you know,
the talent
who
around
said
him
that?
first, huh?
Guess who said that?
So that they're
I
going to
said
tank for
that
Archie.
last season. I said that in the middle of last season while the season was still going on, regular season. I think it was week 15. I said that or something like that. I literally said that this offseason the Giants should sign a veteran quarterback. They should run it, run it up with them. And then next year they should go get Arch Manning. And I literally said that. Because it's so easy to see that should be the move. Because I don't know how Giants fans, like there's Giants fans I was texting with today. One of my boys, he's been on this channel, Jaden. Shout out Jaden Klein, legend. That's my guy. But he had a terrible take today. He woke up and said, "Let me give a terrible take to Tyrus." And you know what he said to me? He said that the New York Giants are going to ball out with Russell Wilson. He said that the Commanders should be on the watch because we're taking over. He said that they have a real shot at making the playoffs. I don't know what delusional world he's living in, but the Giants aren't making the playoffs. They are still the worst team in the division. And not only that, if Brian Dable, if this is make or break right here this season, I mean, I don't know if they're going to give him a chance to make the get Arch Manning next year. But if this is make or break this year, and he's putting his head coaching career on the line, he's putting the keys in Russell Wilson's hands. Not just Russell Wilson, but rinse Russell Wilson. He's going
dangerous,
to regret that.
dangerous.
He's going to regret that. He's going listen. No,
Well,
it's
first
no
off,
Russ
I
cook. He's
think
going to burn the kitchen down.
I think there's literally like, okay, look, there's a chance that the Giants may look up and they might be decent. They might barely make the playoffs. You never know. I mean, I would say like I would compare it to that season that they made it. I think that was 2022, and they made it with just Saquon Barkley just running the ball. I remember watching that game because I had I stayed up to watch it, and um and I was watching with my dad, and I made a comment. But I was like, yo, I was celebrating after the game because I thought it was crazy. I was like, yo, Saquon just carried the Giants. And he was like, nah, Daniel Jones did his thing. da 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 da, right? And I was like, nah, Saquon, but he didn't want to hear it. But point being, there might be a season like that, but I really don't see the Giants not only being willing to fire uh, Brian Dable if they end up not really doing much this year. I see Brian Dable going into next year. I see it. But what basically is going to happen this year, if not anything crazy or unexpected, would be the fact that the Giants were going to use this year, or Brian Dable was going to use this year to just show out as a coach and do his thing, and they're gonna win a couple games, and in a fast, probably like a flashy way. We're gonna win a couple games. They're gonna lose a lot, but they're gonna win a couple just to show that, they got something. And then they're gonna go into next year, and I feel like they're gonna make that move that's gonna try to make them somewhat of contenders, playoff contenders or whatever.
Possibly, but
Hmm.
the one thing about the Giants, it's always, well, they're trying to do this, they're trying to do that. Honestly, even with your pops, he came. Mr. Graham was telling us about how Brian Dable's a really good coach and all that stuff. I mean, he has the resume, he has the accolades, sure, but it's
Mhm.
like none of that matters. And when you're in the position, because it's like, okay, I was explaining this to my guy Julian. He's a Commanders fan. He was talking about the Mike Shanahan Redskins days. Mike Shanahan is a two-time Super Bowl champion with the Denver Broncos. He came to the Washington Redskins and he was terrible. He got fired because none of your previous accolades mean that you're good right now. And Brian Dable's not a good coach right now. He's just not.
I
He's
don't think
not. He
that's
had one
necessarily
good
true.
year,
I
and
guess
people
like
don't run with
you
that.
could be a good coach on a bad team, and I don't think necessarily like he's a bad coach. I mean, he doesn't make perfect decisions, but like when it comes down to it, like I mean, I feel like one thing that definitely saved his job in the first place is the fact that the the Giants made the playoffs during his coaching run. But I honestly think when it comes to like Brian Dable as a coach, I think he's a he's a good coach. I'm like, there's a lot of other teams that he's aware if he could be like the head coach on, because honestly, I think he's better than a lot of other coaches in the NFL right now. But I don't know what it depends. To me, this is what I'm saying. I saw it say like I think it depends on this year. I don't. I think it depends on what happens with how he puts on display, how he uses his team this year, and if they like it, I feel like they're going to keep him.
You
Yeah.
going to? Oh, you got some, Will?
Oh no, I was just about to say, yeah, I do agree. Like, cause to me, okay, so I says Brian Dable, he's not a real good coach to me because Brian Dable, like a good coach to me, will basically elevate the players on their team. Like, look at Dan Quinn. I mean, I know Washington do have their franchise quarterback and all, but that team wasn't a NFC championship worthy team, but we still went to the NFC championship because of the coaching staff, basically, because of the play calls and our coaches' ability to put the players in the best position to succeed and stuff. So I say,
The Giants aren't good at developing players too. Like
yeah,
they drafted so many first round offensive tackles, offensive linemen. Like
look
it's
at Evan
it's
Neal.
not.
Like he's not that
Evan,
good.
was it Evan Ingram? No, Evan. No,
Evan
that was
Neal,
no, that's
Evan
Evan
Neal,
Neal.
Evan
No,
Neal,
like yeah, he
tackle.
was good at first, and then like the next season he just fell off. I mean, that's what I think. Well, I think the thing with the Giants, I think like well with the Redskins that team is different. Like like yeah, they weren't like expected to do that, but at the same time, I feel like if you're either equipped for it or you're not. See, I felt like the Redskins had the pieces and the potential to do it. Like from the start, no. But as the players started getting comfortable, started like developing, starting to find their role, they they ended up whatever effort was put in was received, and with the games they won. So I feel like with the Giants, I don't think they were equipped to do anything like that, especially like last year. So I don't think it's a good comparison to be like, with the Redskins. And, I mean, it's a good example because that team was like everybody through the coaching staff, through the OC, defense coordinator, all that, like everybody put in, and it shows, which is why they were able to make it as far as they did. But with the Giants, I don't think even if they were, they didn't have it, and that's, and you can blame that a little bit on the front office. They made too much mistakes um with signing the people. Like, one, they just couldn't bring back they let a lot of talent walk out the door. See, this is one thing about the Giants. I don't think they're so bad at like making people better or progressing players and stuff. I think some players they do, like, you're like, how do they let, everybody has that player that turns out not to be that good, but for them to let those type of play, they let so many like talented players walk through the door, like Xavier McKinney. That was one guy I didn't expect that. I thought they were going to resign him for sure. I was like, yeah, there's no way they're letting him go. They let him walk. They they were up and down about there was obviously Saquon. That's the biggest one everybody's going to be talking about for years, because not only did they let him walk, but then he ended up going to the Eagles. And now you got to see him 2 times a year, and he's
And he won a
probably going to
Super
just,
Bowl.
yep. And he won a Super Bowl right after. So, you know, but not to ramble on. We did make a point to make this quick. So I guess he was going to the next draft pick.
Yeah, man. Just going to the next draft pick. Number 4 overall is the New England Patriots, and I think that they're going to go ahead and get Will Campbell, offensive tackle out of LSU.
Easy.
They need the O line help. What's the key component for every great team? Trenches, trenches, trenches. You got to dominate the trenches. They also have a young quarterback in Drake May who needs the protection. Will Campbell, former LSU teammate of Jaden Daniels. And I think that this could really benefit the Patriots, just stack the O line.
I do like
I
this
think
pick.
I like that pick. That's a good pick.
Yeah, I do like that pick because
Because
Patriots.
honestly, oh my gosh, I just realized, like, too, like, honestly, because they're one of the teams that I don't think need the quarterback. They have a lot of people, like, I think they have a quarterback. Well, they had Jacoby Brissett, who played pretty okay last year. He had a couple good games. Some games were not as good, obviously, but I already had a couple of good games, and I saw some of the stats for him. But of course, they have Drake May. But also, there was this quarterback I saw. I think it was preseason or whatnot. I forgot what game
Oh,
it was.
Joe
But
Milton.
yes, Joe Milton.
Joe Milton.
Joe Milton. I was watching him play, and like, he's a bigger dude. I think I think he's a really. I think for him the potential is so crazy. I'm like, and they just have that just on. I don't know if I got to check and see what the status of,
Yeah,
like,
like
how
they
the,
said
like,
that there's a chance where he gets traded, to a team that needs a quarterback just off his potential because he's too good to me or has too much potential to just be riding the bench
riding the bench.
because of
Yeah,
Drake May. So
I
exactly.
mean, they could trade him honestly. They really could.
yeah.
But going to number 5, fifth overall pick is the Jacksonville Jaguars on the clock. I think they're gonna go get the arguably the best DB in this class. I'll say this. Travis is the best overall athlete in this class, but the best overall like DB, pound for pound, best DB goes to Will Johnson out of Michigan. I think that the Jacksonville Jaguars go get Will Johnson at the number 5. It just reminds me of them Jalen Ramsey days because Will Johnson's gonna be a star.
Mhm.
Yeah, he is like easy one of the best cornerbacks in this draft class because Will Johnson, he reminds me of, I'm not going to like say this, but he has a chance to have like a Sauce Gardner type of rookie year where he just like put
Mm.
everybody on strap and stuff. Like where from the first second he walks into the training camp and stuff to like midway through the season, you could tell, oh, this dude gonna be special. Like he's really gonna be one of those ones in this NFL and stuff. In NFL where you could like, okay, he's really gonna be a good cornerback. I feel like Will Johnson is definitely that type of player where he just anybody he goes against, he feels that confidence where he could just like lock them up, whoever it is. So I feel like he really is gonna be a real good player in this league.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Now here's what you guys have been waiting for. We've all been waiting for this pick. Number 6 overall, I have the Las Vegas Raiders selecting. Perfect timing. I
Shador.
got them selecting Shador Sanders out
Shador.
of Colorado. I know they just got, now hear me out. I know they just got Geno Smith, but we all know Geno Smith is, hey, he's probably one and done in
Didn't they
Raiders.
re-sign Matthew Stafford?
That's the
Matthew
Rams.
Stafford's on the Rams.
That's the Rams.
Wait, what pick did you just say? Who's picking?
He said the
The
Raiders.
Las Vegas
Las
Raiders,
Vegas
not the
Raiders.
Rams.
Oh, Raiders. I don't know. I thought I heard Rams. Okay, I was about to be. I was like, wait a second. I don't even think Okay, nah. Okay,
I say
that's good.
the
I heard
Tom
that
Brady
they was
connection
like
that
trying to
Shador
resign him
has.
though. I
You said
thought they
what?
was trying to resign Geno to like a long term extension.
I mean, they
See,
can do that, sure, but here's what I'm saying. I know that, like we all know, the Tom Brady connection with Shador, Tom Brady. They've trained together. Obviously, Prime and Tom Brady are very good friends. I believe Shador signed with Brady's brand, one of his brands, and look, it just makes all the sense of the world. If he's there at 6, I say take Shador because we all know that Geno Smith is not the quarterback of the future for the Raiders. They're not making the playoffs with Geno Smith. I'm sorry, they're just not. So yeah, Shador. I see it as more so like let Geno play this year. Shador, wherever Shador goes, he's really, unless he has to start. I think if he goes to the Raiders, it's actually best for his career because he gets a chance to sit and learn. And I think that's what's best for him to sit and learn first year.
Because to me, I was like, the Raiders, they gave up too much draft capital. I know it was just one pick, but they gave up a third round draft pick to get Geno Smith. I'm like, they definitely are going to let him start for at least a year, probably maybe a year and a half, 2 years, probably. Geno Smith, the starting quarterback. But yeah, I do like this pick of them drafting Shador Sanders looking to the future because Geno Smith, how old is he? What, 34, 35? He's not the franchise quarterback. He's more of a bridge quarterback until the Raiders actually get there, presumably, franchise quarterback. So yeah, I do like this pick.
interesting. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think it's valid though.
Hey, how can you hate it, man? This would be like very, very awesome, But we're gonna see where Shador lands. It's gonna be interesting. I know that's gonna be the talk of the draft for sure, wherever he gets drafted. But going to the number 7th pick, just to speed it up here, I got the Jets selecting Armand Membu. I don't know if you guys know this guy. Like, hey, he's an offensive tackle out of Missouri, really good player. I think
I
the
do
Jets
know
need.
him.
You know him?
Yeah, he's a good. Didn't he like run like a 4.9, something like that at
Oh, he
the?
was
4'9"?
the one that ran a 4.9.
Yeah, the big offensive tackle that ran like a 4.9 at the 4 yard dash.
Yeah, I saw that, bro. That is insane.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
he ran
like
a 4.91.
yeah, 4.91.
Yeah, that is ridiculous, bro. You're that big
Yeah,
running a 4.9. You know what?
I would say that the dude out of Texas though is the second best offensive tackle.
Oh
If
yeah,
he's
we
on the
we gonna
board,
get we gonna get to him. We gonna get to him,
And I
but
think that's a good pick for a team that just picked up Justin Fields.
yeah, got to get the O line shirt up, and like I said, man, the trenches. But
Right.
we're
because
gonna
didn't
say
they just
number
draft the dude out of Penn State last year, Olu?
Olu Fashanu.
Yeah, for Shauna. Yeah, so he would be a good mix to be on the other side of Olu, I should
Right,
say.
right. Especially with Tyron Smith is getting old. I think he's retired. He's retired, right?
Yeah, I think
Uh,
he retired. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did. So just to basically get the youth in there. So yeah, this is definitely a good pick right here.
Going to number 8 overall, I got the Carolina Panthers shocking a lot of people. I think they go Tyler Warren, tight end out of Penn State, eighth overall.
Tyler
Tyler Warren,
Warren.
yes, yes. Tyler Warren is one of the greatest.
Wait, the
Look at me while
Panthers?
I say this, man. Look at me while I say this. Tyler Warren is one of the greatest tight end prospects ever. Ever. This dude is a star. He's a star.
I mean, why
I
wouldn't
mean,
they go?
like,
Why wouldn't they touch up their old line that was struggling last year?
I'm
I
looking at
think
the
their
I'm,
line
I'm
was
looking
good
at the
last year.
board
I
right
feel like.
now. I'm looking at the board right now, and I'm looking at it from the perspective of okay, either they trade down and get a lineman, or they sit tight and look at the best players available BPA. And if they sitting tight right now, the two best players available on the board as of right now is Mason Graham, defensive tackle. They don't need that, and Tyler Warren, tight end. And I'm just viewing it from a perspective of like, I know the Panthers tight end room is not super good. They need another weapon for Bryce Young. Get him, I say go ahead and get him another weapon. And this is not just any weapon. It's not like they're just drafting some random receiver. No, Tyler Warren is the tight end of this class. And I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Tyler Warren and Brock Bowers are going to be the new George Kittle and Travis Kelce. I get there. I said it. I said it.
But I should say this. What stands out about Tyler Warren? Because he had a real good year at Penn State, but how is he at the 4 yard? How is he at the combine? Like, what about him stands out? I should say.
What stands out to me is for a tight end, he's pretty fast. He has good speed, the strength, the agility. I think that the jump ball ability, he's gonna go up and get it. I mean, he's just a great tight end. He can block. He can block. I mean, if people really care too much about that, it's. I know people care mostly about the receiving ability because that's
Yeah, with a tight end, because
that's
that's the
you
new
know
day and
yeah.
age right now.
Right, right. But Tyler Warren, to me, like he's a dog. I mean, and I don't think this is going to be one of those situations where we think somebody's generational and they get into the league and they end up laying an egg, kind of like dude in Atlanta. Well, you know what I'm talking about,
Kyle Pitts.
Kyle Pitts. I don't think it's going to be one of those situations. No, like Tyler Warren, he deserves. In fact, to me, he's not getting enough hype. So I have him going top 10. I have him going to the Carolina Panthers, and I think they just go best player available. That's what you got to do
Okay.
sometimes. You
Okay.
can't reach for need.
I do like the
Mm.
mix up though with the draft and not just the generic, you know, what everybody else say. So yeah, I do like this pick.
Going to number 9, the New Orleans Saints are on the clock. I actually got the Saints staying put. I don't have them trading back. I got them drafting D tackle Mason Graham out of Michigan. They need a new D tackle because Cam Jordan is retiring.
He
And
retired. Dang.
no, I
Yeah.
think
I mean,
Cam Jordan's still in the league, but
no,
like
he
his
came
stock
back
has
for
been
like
running
his
down.
15th, 16th,
Oh, okay,
15th
okay.
or
I was about to
16th
say I
game.
didn't know he was.
They need to shore up the trenches, of course. One common trend you're going to notice when it comes to bad teams, what's a common trend? They're terrible in the trenches.
I
So
mean,
so
Washington, they
That's
was
that's
just an
that's what I
anomaly
said about
then.
the Panthers. I thought that's why I think the Panthers would be. Um, I think it would have been a smarter idea for them to grab.
Mason Graham.
I mean, well,
Some I
Panthers, they
said
still have like
to
Derek
touch up their O
Brown and stuff.
line at least. Like running wise, the run block was pretty decent at sometimes during the year, but like for I think they would need to touch up their O line. That's why I was like, it's just a big. That's just a grab to be like, okay, well, he's a really good player, and I don't want to just waste his first round on something like O line or something. I don't know. That would
Yeah,
seem
I
like
mean,
the grab for just a player that just was good.
you can still make those O-line moves in the second round, later rounds. Like people always think that all the good players are in the first round. Let's clarify. All the best players are in the first round. That doesn't mean that there's not good players in the later rounds. And who knows? The first round picks, there's guys in the later rounds who will be better than some of these first round picks. It's inevitable. It happens that way. It's unpredictable. So you
I mean,
never
that's
know.
true as well, but I mean, most teams with like how they usually go about it is they go by like priority. They like to get certain things out the way. I mean, hey, if I mean if they go like that, then that's what they pick. I mean, who really knows? To be honest, they could
Yeah,
go for something a position like that, and you never know. They give Bryce Young another target.
Yeah, I do
just don't
agree
want to
with that.
reach. But going to the next pick, y'all. 10th overall, Chicago Bears on the clock. This is going to surprise people again. Like I said, I go against the grain. That's what we do here at Fourth and Goal Sports Show. 10th overall, I got I got the Chicago Bears going McMillan out of Arizona, wide receiver. I have them going wide receiver. I have them going McMillan. And I know what you're going to say. They have DJ Moore. They have Odunze. Their wide receiver core is already good. Why would they go McMillan at 10? Let me tell you why. Because they had Keenan Allen. They no longer have him. He's a free agent. Keenan Allen, clearly he was washed. He's done. I think Caleb Williams still needs another weapon outside
Goodness,
of
I
Cole
call
Kmet.
everybody wash.
Outside of DJ Moore and Cole Kmet, he still needs another weapon. I say go get McMillan. The O-line, they pretty much shored it up in free agency. They spent big at O-line. I don't think you waste another pick. It's a top 10 pick. So it's like to me, you have to get a high impact player and not just a lineman. So you go get McMillan, who's arguably the best receiver in the draft. And on our mock right now, he's the first receiver off the board. I think it's a good selection.
I would say, I would say they probably should go defense, but then again, it's like who on defense would they really get? So, they could go edge rusher potentially. Yeah, I think they should, they could go edge rusher or something. But getting another star receiver for Caleb Williams, it wouldn't hurt the team, I should say. Like, it won't. I would say this is a good pick in the sense of getting Caleb Williams another like big body wide receiver, or getting
Right.
him
That's
a
what I'm
big
saying.
body wide receiver because Roman Duce, he's a good wide receiver, but he's more of a slot wide receiver to me. And DJ Moore, he's like a speed burner, but um uh, but I forgot his name, but the dude out of Arizona, he's more of just like a big body, short hands type of receiver where one-on-one coverage, he's going to be able to go up and get the ball. So from that point, from that standpoint, I say that this is a good move, but I would say, is it really more so of a need though? Like they probably want to get another wide receiver, but is it more so of a need? So I say their needs probably should go to the defensive side. Probably look at edge rusher or something. I know they had Montez Sweat on one side, but I feel like they definitely need to just like ensure that, front seven a little more. So
I
I'll
mean,
say they should
with
go.
that being said, maybe you're going to think that this next pick should have gone to the Bears, but they passed on him. Hey, they passed on him and got a receiver. But the next pick, I got the San Francisco 49ers at the 11th overall selection, selecting Georgia D lineman Michael Williams. You can't go wrong with Georgia D lineman. You can't go wrong with Georgia defensive players. So yeah, they get Michael Williams. Gotta shore it up in the trenches. The 49ers lost so many players, so it's like they can't go wrong in the draft. As long as they draft something besides quarterback and running back, they can't go wrong.
And probably wide receiver also. And
Yeah.
tight end. Like, yeah. But the Bears should draft the Michael Williams, in my opinion, because I'm like, if you have a player who could be like an instant contributor, just like help the run game, while the Bears, they were really good on defense this past year. Like, not trying to say that they wasn't good or anything, but offensively, I feel like they did enough in the offseason to help out the offense. But, the defensive side of the ball, they definitely need to like just key in on the areas where they need to improve in.
Wait, hold on. So the last pick before this one was the Bears.
Yeah,
So
the
they had two
Bears
picks?
Bears drafted McMillan, and then 49ers at 11th overall drafted Michael Williams, D lineman out of
Oh,
Georgia.
49ers. Okay. Sorry, I was
Yeah. Yeah, I was just saying like the Bears they needed to like, in my opinion, just draft Markel Williams because Michael Williams, he has a chance to be like an actual real good player. He, I won't say he's like the second best, but he definitely is to me like a top four edge rusher in this class, which is really good in this edge rushing class. But yeah, that's I say Bears should have drafted Markel Williams.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. But going to number 12, to me, this is the pick of the draft. The pick of the draft. I've been waiting for this pick. The
Oh, I
Dallas
already know who
Cowboys.
this is going to be.
The Dallas Cowboys are on the clock.
Oh,
Genty.
let me
And
hold
guess
on. Let
who
me
they go
guess. Let
get?
me
Again,
guess. Let
Genty.
me guess. Is it
Is
Ashton
Genty
Genty?
time.
Yep,
Again,
Ashton
Ashton
Genty.
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 Again,
They're going
Genty.
to get Ashton Genty at number 12. As you guys could see how the board's shaking out, I had him falling out the top 10, but he's right there at 12. So I got
Really? I
the
didn't go to.
Cowboys getting
I'll have the
the
front door.
Yeah,
yeah, I got
but
the Cowboys getting
Gen
their star running back at 12.
yeah, Genty. This would be a good pick for Cowboys. I say like getting someone because Cowboys they really want to be a running team. I say, because that's where they really win games when they could. Not trying to say Dak Prescott isn't a good quarterback at all, because he's a good regular season quarterback to me, but just helping him in situations where it could be like easy passing situations where the play action could really get defenses like catch the linebackers moving stuff is where the Cowboys could really be the most explosive at. So again, explosive running back like Genty is definitely going to help them out in those areas. So I say this is definitely a good pick for the Cowboys.
For sure, for sure. Next pick is the first trade of the draft. Trade alert, trade
Ooh,
alert, trade alert.
trade.
Um, so I got the Miami Dolphins trading their number 13th pick to the Arizona Cardinals, who are sitting at 16th. So they're going to swap picks. So the Cardinals move up from 16 to 13, and I have them selecting Texas wide receiver Matthew Golden. One of the biggest needs of the Cardinals is wide receiver because outside of I know you're not gonna like that. It's facts. Outside of Marvin Harrison, who every defense is gonna lock in on, who else? Who's the second guy? Who's the third guy? Who's the fourth guy? The Cardinals receiving core has been terrible for a while. I mean, there was a time where the Cardinals' second option was what? Andy Isabella. Is he even in the league anymore?
True.
Like the Cardinals have ever since Fitzgerald retired, the Cardinals have been struggling at wide receiver. They'll sign washed guys or they'll trade for D Hop. D Hop was a legend. Outside of D Hop, outside of Fitz and D Hop, what have they really had? I say go draft a wide receiver again, and they go get Matthew Golden. They trade up for him.
Yeah, Matthew Gordon, he definitely has a chance to be really good to me because he's like a speed burner wide receiver, that type of wide receiver where you like, okay, we just need you to just go deep and I'm just throw you that type of wide receiver. Um, but trading up to get him, who was in front of them where they couldn't like, try to stay put at 16 where they feel like they had to trade up.
I think they trade up. It was more so of a trade back for Miami. I think
Oh,
Miami. You're
okay.
gonna see why I made this trade for Miami. Trading back was. I mean, I know it's only a few spots, but a few spots can change the draft. So I think it was a good move for Miami to trade back. The following picks behind that 13 spot is number 14, the Colts, and number 15, the Atlanta Falcons. The Colts do need a receiver. They need receivers. Um,
Yeah, they do. Coach, they kind of little dysfunctional. They need a lot of stuff right now. So yeah.
Yeah. But going to number 14, I got the Indianapolis Colts selecting edge rusher out of Tennessee, James Pierce Jr., star edge rusher.
Wow.
Yeah. That
I
surprised you?
was hoping, in your mock draft he could slip to Washington, but he went 14. Okay. I do like this pick for the Colts. This is definitely like because last year then they get the dude out of UCLA.
Yeah, Latu.
Yeah, they got him out of UCLA, so they going edge rusher back to back rounds. I mean, back to back,
I
years in
think
the
they
first
should.
round. Yeah, I definitely think they, should after losing one of their edge rushers to the Bears and stuff, they just like filling that role with someone who definitely has a chance to be real good in a in the league. So um I feel like he definitely will work good with the Colts. I'm trying to think of anybody else Colts could have probably drafted. Um, I'm surprised
Guys
the
on the
Texas
board.
O line.
You got guys on the board such as Shamar Stewart, Kelvin Banks Jr., Tyler Booker, Jalen Walker. I just think for the to me, out of those
Hmm.
guys, I think James Pierce Jr. He's the best player on available to me because he is a really good edge rusher. I think he's gonna. Hey, hey, the Colts draft him. He's the best edge rusher on the roster already. He's a
He
speed
is.
rusher. He has finesse. He has power. His pursuit is what stands out to me when I watch the film, like pursuit, pursuit, pursuit. I remember, when I played when I played pass rusher, edge rusher, DN, D tackle, um, constantly. What did the coaches say? Pursuit, pursuit, pursuit is the name of the game,
Mm-hmm. It
and
really
football
is.
is football. So high school, college, NFL,
It's
pursuit
the
is
game never
valuable.
changed. So
Yeah,
yeah,
James Chris Jr. I like his effort.
yeah,
I like
I
his
do
skill
agree
set. I
with
like
that.
his bag.
Yeah.
Very good pass rush ability. Um, 15. 15, I got the Atlanta Falcons replacing Grady Jarrett, who just left for the Bears. I got them replacing him with a guy by the name of Shamar Stewart, D lineman out of Texas A&M. I think this is a really good placement. Go get a young guy
Oh,
who can not only stop the run but pass rush as well. Versatile, gritty, and when you get them defensive players out of Texas, when you get them defensive players out of Bama, Georgia, them Southern schools, you know what I'm saying? They're just dogs. They're dogs
yeah.
on dogs on
Everybody
dogs.
dogs.
Can't go wrong.
Yeah, I do get that.
Yeah, they're kind of built different
They
Yeah.
down
breed them
south.
Smart
different. They're
Stewart.
dangerously different, dog.
Isn't Smart Stewart? He's the one that just was like a freak athlete at the Scouting Combine, where he just like all his numbers was basically like elite, elite, elite. So
Yeah,
just
he's an
getting
elite
that,
football.
yeah, like just
And not
getting
only
that
that, he's a really
player. Because a player that he reminds me of is like how Trayvon Walker, when he came out, you know, when Tennessee drafted him, he wasn't really that known until Pro Day, Scouting Combine. He wasn't really that known until then. And he just shot up the draft board. So I say Shamir Stewart, because at first he wasn't even considered the best edge rusher coming out of Texas A&M. And now he's getting drafted 15th. So, you know, yeah.
Uh yeah, I mean, we're gonna see. I think it's a good pick to me. I think it fills a need, and he's also kind of considered BPA, but it fills a need. But going to pick 16. Remember I had the Dolphins trading back from 13 to 16 with the Cardinals.
Yeah,
Cardinals got Matthew Golden. Now the Miami Dolphins are on the clock with their pick that they traded back at pick 16, and I got the Dolphins going ahead and selecting Alabama guard Tyler Booker. That's going to be a surprise to people because it's like a guard. When there's tackles on the board, they're available. I say go get Tyler Booker because if you look at the Dolphins' offensive line, which is a huge need for them, their biggest need with O line is interior rather than exterior. I say go get a nasty, mean mentality guard like Tyler Booker, who I don't know if you guys have kept up with him, but just listening to the way that he talks, the way that he's, talked about the game of football, I love the way he talks about football. He said, I want to take I want to take the love of the game away from the person in front of me. Like I want to put that guy in the dirt and bully him on the field. I love that mentality.
Wow. Yeah, I do. I do. That is good
that
mentality. And
that's
you
that's
know
a
that.
that's a great mentality, and that is the type of culture that a lot of GMs and coaches want to build in their organization. So having something like that, that is nice.
Yeah, I do like that mentality because you know he has to be good when he's a guard. Like, because usually, I mean, there are guards that could be drafted highly, but usually it's probably the tackles that then get formed into the guards. If he's strictly a guard and he's projected to get drafted mid first round, he has to be like, there has to be something about him where scouts like, okay, even though he probably not gonna be playing tackle for us, and we just kick him into guard, because usually guards that could be found like any draft pick. Like you could find a good guard third, fourth round. First round is really where the tackles are. But if you find like, but if it's a guard that's getting projected to be drafted like mid first round and stuff, oh, he has to have that football mentality or just something about him where it's like, okay,
That we got to
and
get this guy. Yeah.
yeah, that we have to get this guy first round. We can't let this dude slide or nothing.
Mhm.
So yeah, I
Yeah,
agree about that pick.
Yeah,
I agree.
regardless of the position, it's like if you're a dog, you're a dog. You feel me?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I do agree.
So 17th overall, the team that needs a O line, they need all the O line help is the Cincinnati Bengals. I have them selecting arguably the best offensive tackle in this class, possibly outside of um, um, my guy Will
Will
out of
Campbell.
LSU. Yeah,
Yeah,
Will
Will
Campbell.
Campbell.
So I got them selecting Kelvin Banks Jr., offensive tackle, Texas. They need the O line help. I'm so tired of hearing the excuses from Bengals fans. Well,
I
Joe Burrow
mean,
doesn't have
you still
Joe Burrow doesn't have that.
see.
Okay,
That's the thing, though. I think you still gonna hear it
I feel like
because
Bengals would rather go on the defensive side than offensive line. I mean, Joe
because
Burrow, he definitely do needs the help. So
but also they've been complaining about their defense for like the past 2 seasons. 2 seasons
yeah, kind of like they definitely should go defense right here because their defense is like
is
their
the worst
offense could
part.
still, even with their offensive line, their offense could still score like 40 points right now. Their defense, they probably gonna give up 50 points.
But
So just
yeah,
to get
yeah.
that,
So it won't matter
yeah,
whatever they
yeah, wherever they get offensive line, and they do have like good offensive linemen in the trenches. I mean, like coming up, like um, um Aminus Mims, they drafted last year out
Oh
of
yeah, he's a dog.
Oklahoma. Yeah, he
He's a
should
dog.
be coming up soon. You know, he's going to be starting soon. So they do have like offensive linemen in the rating room and stuff. But I say that they should go, defensive right here.
yeah,
Either,
I agree. I think this is a mandatory defensive pick
yeah,
because they can't afford any more mobs growing outside of the Cincinnati Bengals stadium talk about get a better defense.
yeah,
Do you
because
think
they're
this is
going.
gonna wait? Do you think this is gonna be one of those moments where we're all watching on draft night and that it's always that moment where it's
Oh,
like, what
and they
what was
boo.
that? What was
Yeah,
that?
that boo.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think this will be because of the position because the he still I would still say this as of right now, as of this moment, will be considered the still a draft. I would say.
Kelvin
Because
Banks?
yes, because
Okay.
there's people who were saying that he's probably better than Will Campbell, and he's probably should have went, in your mock draft number 5 to the Patriots or something. Like there's people who feel like he's like that good and stuff. So as of right now, I'll say that this will be considered to still a draft based on best player available, but as of team needs, I would say this don't, fall under that category. Because this falls under like best player available for the draft, but as of what the Cincinnati Bengals need to improve their team to make sure that they don't give up 40 points per game next year, I see, they definitely should have went defensive, defensive
Um,
player right here.
Speaking of defensive, so okay, the next pick on the clock is pick 18, which is the Seattle Seahawks. Guess what, guys? We got another trade alert. I got the Seahawks
Trailer.
trading back with the Los Angeles Chargers, who are at pick 22. The Chargers are moving from pick 22 to pick 18, and the Chargers move up to select edge rusher Jalen Walker. Hey, the Bengals didn't see the vision. So guess what? The Chargers did. They went up and traded up for him. They got Jalen Walker, so that way they gave no other chance for another team to get him. But they need an edge rusher now that they lost Joey Bosa. They got to go get another edge. They got to get some defensive help.
I do like this pick for Chargers. After just getting rid after Joey Bosa leaving, so they need some way to fill in that role. I know they do have like I'm forgetting the dude name, the edge rusher that they got out of USC last year. I'm pretty sure. He has potential to be really good and stuff, but just having that security blanket where you know that okay, this dude he has that dog mentality. He could go out there and give us a sack when we need it on like pressure key moments and stuff,
Yeah.
just to be
What
just to make sure that he's good. That his side is good, I
What
should say.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's a good move for the Chargers for sure. Going to pick 19. We're back again with the DBs. I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers selecting J.D. Barron or Jade Barron, however you pronounce that, out of
Out of
Texas.
Texas,
Is it
he's
Jade?
real good. I'm pretty sure it's Jade. Yeah, I'm pretty sure
Jade,
it's
Texas.
Jade.
Jade Barron out of Texas, DB.
Yeah, he's real good. Like, in college football playoffs and stuff, he was like probably I would say one of Texas' best players and stuff because he did real good against Jamari Smith. I mean, the Ohio State wide receiver. So I say getting a player that's just he's a good man-to-man covers cornerback to me and getting someone who you could just keep on the island and make sure that, that side's good and then all you just have to do is worry about the other side. I say from that standpoint, this is, a good pick.
Yeah, going to the next pick just to keep it quick and keep it going. I got the Denver Broncos selecting Siobhan Revel, cornerback, ECU. The defense is really good, but one thing you can never have enough of is some really good DBs. I think that they, go get another DB to, just fill out the room. Their defense is pretty well rounded. Their offense pretty solid. They do need some more weapons on offense, but at this point, I'm basically looking at what's on the board right now. You don't want to reach for somebody, and if you're going to stay put and not trade back, I think they got the right guy, Siobhan Revel, DB out of ECU.
Yeah, I do like this pick. Good play to go aside, Patrick Surtain, so, it's a good pick.
Another trade I have, it's another trade alert, folks. I'm keeping it coming with the trades, y'all. I'm keeping it coming. So
Everybody's going bold this draft.
yeah, I got the Houston Texans, and all the trades make sense. So it's not like I'm just pulling trade triggers for no reason. They make sense. And you'll see once I post this official mock, I will post it. But yeah, I got Houston Texans at number 25 trading up to number 21, held by the Pittsburgh Steelers. So the Pittsburgh Steelers are trading back to 25. And the Texans trade up for offensive tackle Josh Simmons out of Ohio State. They just traded Lermy Tunsil. The O-line was already putrid and trash when they had Lermy Tunsil, who was their only bright spot. All of the Texans fans want to hate on Lermy Tunsil now that he's a commander and he's on a winning team that has a chance to win a Super Bowl, and they want to say, oh, he's a false start machine. He was the only bright spot y'all had. Just appreciate those who actually did good for you, right? But no, they didn't want to do that. So now they got to go get another offensive tackle to protect their quarterback because CJ Stroud is going to get eaten alive like a little guppy in the Sharks pond, and if they don't get him some help.
Yeah, I do agree because the Texans they did sign Cam Robinson though, like right after releasing. Right after trading away Laremy Tunsil, so they tried to. Cam Robinson, he's not Laremy Tunsil by any stretch, but he's a good, replacement, I should say. But getting Josh Simpson to then put on the other side at right tackle definitely should improve their offensive line. Because even with Laremy Tunsil, they still was like one of the worst offensive lines, like as a collective group. So Josh Simpson should definitely improve that, their offensive line.
going to a spicy pick, and I know this is going to get Jalen talking. I know this is going to get William talking. For those watching, it's about to get spicy. So I told you the Seahawks traded with the Chargers. They traded back from 18 to 22. So we're here at pick 22. The Seahawks are on the clock, and I have them selecting freak athlete out of South Carolina, safety Nick Emmanwori. Guess what? Guess what? Guess what? Nick Emmanwori is a monster. He's a freak athlete. He a month ago, he was projected to go second round. He had a freak show athletic performance at the NFL Combine. Now he's projected to go first round, and it's all for the right reasons. He's a great tackler. You turn on the film, he's shooting out of a cannon. He's going to go get that tackle. And I said this on I was thinking this. I didn't say this, but I'm going to say it now. One-on-one, if I'm the Seahawks head coach, defensive coordinator, or head coach, one-on-one, Saquon Barkley, one-on-one, Derrick Henry. If Nick Emmanwori's there, I'm confident he makes the tackle. Turn on the tape. This dude is a star.
Okay. And I'm not gonna lie.
No. You got to hear me out. His player comp, I'm gonna say his player comp, and I'm gonna let you go.
Don't say Sean Taylor.
Is Cam Chancellor.
Okay.
I see Cam Chancellor all over his tape.
And that's why you sent him to Seattle.
I think with what the Seahawks have right now, it's LOB part 2. It's LOB part 2 if they get Nick Emmanwori. They have Tyreek. They have Devin Witherspoon. They have Julian Love. Is he still there? Julian Love still there?
He's still there.
And if they go get Nick Emmanwori, this is going to be the best secondary. It's either 1 or 2, because I know the Texan secondary is loaded too. This secondary would be loaded. It would be LOB part 2, Legion of Boom.
Oh no, that's tough. That's a tough.
He's going to be a good player. He definitely is going to be a good player, but it's tough to get behind this pick because he is going to be a freak. He's a freak athlete. Like what? He's 230, running like a 4, 3 something. Like no human's supposed to be able to do that. But I feel like Seahawks, because they're bigger needs, I should say, the Seahawks need to address in getting a safety. Like they could go after they could probably go after whoever is the best like wide receiver right now, because Cooper Kupp and Jackson Smith and Njigba, that's that's not gonna get it done for Sam Darnold. They could go after that. They could go after like offensive linemen, but this pick, it's not the worst pick, but they definitely could have drafted someone else.
Yeah, but you know what? They did it because Legion of Boom Part 2, man. Legion of Boom Part 2.
Man, they missed it too much to be. I see where you're going, and that could be exciting. I'm not gonna lie, that would be cool. But they missed it a little bit too much to be.
Bro, they were so close to the playoffs, bro. They were right there. They had the most wins out of any team that missed the playoffs.
I meant like missing stuff defensively. Like their defense was pretty nice last year. I remember it being up there, high up on the list on like defenses last year. But I don't know, bro. I think they're still missing the. I don't know. I don't hate the pick. I like the pick.
But you know what they're missing? A player like Cam Chancellor. But moving on to the next pick, we got the Green Bay Packers on the clock at pick 23. I think they need to go get an edge rusher, and I got them selecting Nick Scorton out of Texas A&M. I got them getting him because they just traded Preston Smith, former Redskin. Shout out Preston Smith. We're familiar with him from our days, when he was with us. But unfortunately, he's washed. He's washed in the rinse. And He's done with the Packers. They traded him to the Steelers, and obviously the Steelers didn't renew his contract. He's a free agent. But I think they got to go get an edge rusher. They had Zadarius Smith at one point. They had Preston Smith, the Smith brothers, even though they're not brothers, but nicknames. They had those two for a while. It's time to go get a real young, serviceable, talented Nick Scorton, and I think he can elevate their defense.
This pick, because Nick Swartzen, he is a good edge rusher, but I say the better edge rusher to me, who I'm surprised still on the board at this point, is Mike Green. Mike Green, he has a chance to be real good to me. And me personally, I would say he's definitely better than Nick Swartzen. And I know like the difference in like
Plays though.
levels, he went to Marshall, he went to Texas A&M, like playing SEC versus playing in the Sun Belt, like it's a different type of, level of competition you're playing against. But he was even going crazy at the pro day and stuff. So I mean at the recent Senior Bowl. So him just going crazy like that, I say he's definitely a better edge rusher. But I do like the pick though.
I put him here at this point because, and we're going to get to the pick with Mike Green. He's definitely a first-round pick. We're going to see where he lands.
Hopefully it's Washington.
Well, we'll see. But I had to put Nick Skurtz in there because I feel like he's underrated. I feel like he's more technical, more disciplined. And the thing, and I mentioned this with James Pierce Jr., and the same thing can be said for Mike Green. They're both speed rushers. They're not like 3 down, 4 down edge rushers. They're not, because
I do get that.
To me, they're both great pass rushers, but they're not very good at stopping the run. And that's a key factor. And also with Mike Green, with the legal situations, I don't want to talk too much about that, but you have to take that into account, and him not falling out the first round, but falling back.
Yeah.
Especially when some guys have legal situations, and then some guys have legal situations. If you see what I'm trying to say there.
Like the LSU wide receiver,
when it affects people's lives, when it has something to do with things that are really, really bad, and obviously it's all allegations. With Mike Green, it's allegations. It's innocent until proven guilty, and any allegations towards him, we're not trying to say he's guilty of any of that. No, but there's good press and bad press, and even if it's not true, it's going to affect you business wise. It's going to. So I think he could possibly fall in this draft class. I really do. And there's character concerns, all that. So I think he could fall. But going to number 24, I think that the Minnesota Vikings select Malachi Starks, safety out of Georgia. Honestly, he really could have gone earlier than this. Really good safety. You can make the case he's the best safety in the class over Eamon Warrior. They're kind of neck and neck, but I take Eamon Warrior because he's just such a freak athlete. It's hard not to take him right there for Seattle, but I got Minnesota getting Malachi Starks. And then going to pick 25, the Pittsburgh Steelers are on the clock from the pick that they traded back from 21 to 25. The Pittsburgh Steelers are on the clock. I got the Pittsburgh Steelers surprising a lot of people. Y'all not going to like this one either, man. Y'all not going to like this one either. Wide receivers for the Pittsburgh Steelers are who? George Pickens, DK Metcalf. And I guess number 3, you know who that's going to be? Luther Burden out of Missouri is an absolute star. When I watch his tape, I see a star. I see arguably the best receiver in this class. Luther Burden, to me, you want to know who I saw when I watched him? I saw a mix between Deebo Samuel and George Pickens. If they mixed together and merged as a player, it would be Luther Burden III. Luther Burden, spectacular catch, 99. Playmaking, speed, agility, 99. He's just such a versatile football player. And his route running is the best in this class. I don't want to hear it. Uncomparable, best in this class by far. It's not close. His route running is beautiful. He's a star. I see whoever the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback is going to be is going to have all the weapons to succeed, and they're going to be doing very well.
I don't know about this one because Luther Burden, he is a good wide receiver, and I don't hate the pick. Like it is a, Steelers they could benefit from having another superstar wide receiver potential. Luther Burden, but I'll say the safe pick or the pick that they should do is Jackson Dart right here. This is where I feel like Jackson Dart could be drafted to Pittsburgh because as of right now, who's still his quarterback,
I think
starting
it's too
quarterback is
early.
Mason Rudolph. Mason Rudolph, like, Steelers not going to have that going into the year. And then they don't draft a quarterback in the first round. They're going to have to wait to the end almost of the second round where Jackson Dart, he definitely not going to be there then. So who probably going to be right there? Probably Jalen Monroe. Like, Jalen Monroe, probably the best quarterback in
Probably.
that.
I
Or
I,
mean,
I'd
even
say
I just want to give you an outlook of the
he
board.
might. I'm so honestly surprised
I
he
want to
ever
give you
came
guys an
off the
outlook of
board.
the board that I'm looking at.
He should have been. I think he
No,
should have
no,
came
no.
off the board a lot earlier.
Not all I'm no, I'm saying that I want to give you guys the outlook of the board that I'm looking at because like those guys are not even there yet. That's what I'm saying. Like they're more second round, third round type when it comes to those quarterbacks. Jahad Campbell's there, Mike Green, guard, Donovan Jackson, Donovan Izaraku. I'm gonna get to that pick, but yeah, they're right there, but not yet. I'm gonna show you some in a bit. But the next pick on the clock is the Los Angeles Rams, and I got the Rams selecting linebacker Jahad Campbell out of Alabama. They got to get, you know what the Rams are really missing on their defense? They got a very young defense, but they need somebody who can set the tone, shoot out of a cannon, and just go stop the run. Um, I see that in Jahad Campbell. You got to have a linebacker who can go stop the run. They have a very good D line, and their DBs need some work. I originally, when I did an original mock, I think I had Eamon Wari to the Rams, but at this point, the board has shifted post NFL draft, and weeks down the line, months down the line. So I got Jahad Campbell to LA. What do you guys think?
I do like this pick because Jahad Campbell, with their young defensive line, he's definitely has a chance to build around that group and basically like develop with them, I should say. Um, so yeah, for me, I do like this pick a lot for the Rams.
Sure. Um.
Yeah, I
Well.
think it's an interesting pick.
Yep. Jalen, it's that time. You know what time it is, bro.
My
So
God.
so
The
pick
Ravens,
27. Pick 27. The Ravens are on the clock. I don't think I'm gonna just say this now. I don't think y'all gonna like this pick either. But I'm not here to. I'm not here to do what people like. I'm here to give you the facts. I'm here to give you my mock draft. It's mock draft Monday, and guess what? I got the Baltimore Ravens pick 27 selecting Ohio State superstar wide receiver Emeka Egbuka
hmm.
at pick 27. I think this is a really good move. It's not just that you're drafting a receiver, you're drafting the receiver. He's arguably the best receiver in this class. He could come in rookie year and have 1,000. I really believe that. He really could. And not only that, Egbuka is kind of set apart from Bateman and Flowers. He's kind of set apart from that because he's bigger, he's stronger, and he's just a better playmaker than them. Like I'm gonna just say now, he's better than them. He's better. I mean, maybe not at this moment. He's not better than Flowers because coming off the season that he just had. But Egbuka right now,
But
if
the
he's
Bateman also had a pretty good season.
sure. But I'm saying
So,
Egbuka,
well,
if you see who Egbuka is, he's either your wide receiver 2 or 1. That's how I feel. He's either 1 or 2.
Yeah, Abuka, he definitely will like enhance that offense, basically take it to the next level. Because right now, Ravens, while Lamar Jackson did have his best receiving year, there's always where they need to improve in some positions. And one of those positions is definitely wide receiver, I feel like. Um, because Lamar Jackson, well, actually, any quarterback, they could never have too many weapons or something. There probably could be other positions where it's like, oh, Ravens probably could use another quarterback, another cornerback instead of Brandon Stevens or something like.
Oh, we
or like
traded
a
Zach Ertz. He's
linebacker
gone. Well, not
or something
traded.
like that.
We let him go.
But yeah, like they could use like other positions, but I feel like a wide receiver would never like that's a position where it's like okay, we do have Zay Flowers, but we need someone where we like okay, Zay Flowers he could do this, but just think about getting two Zay Flowers. Like that's who Emeka Abuka could be. He could be like another Zay Flowers for the Ravens, where instead of having
Better.
one Zay Flowers, they have like now two Zay Flowers. So just like enhance the offense and make it way better than what it is.
I
Yeah,
mean,
it also gives a safety blanket, another safety blanket for Lamar because usually your safety blanket is your tight end, but unfortunately, Mark Andrews has lost that respect. He's lost
He
that.
definitely did.
I'm just
hold
being
on,
honest.
first,
He really
hold
can't be
on,
funny.
He
hold
definitely
on.
did.
First,
He
That
definitely
respect
did.
anymore.
I don't think Lamar is ever going to be like, all right, well, nah, like I'm not really paying no.
I'm
He's
talking
lost
chemistry.
that. He's lost that. Trust me. Lamar has not lost. I mean, if Mark Andrews is still on the Ravens going into next season, I don't think Lamar is going to slow down with how he uses Mark Andrews. I think he's going to go right back to it because
I mean,
he is yet he is not going to sit there and think, okay, well, Mark Andrews, I'm not really going to, I don't really trust it. No, that's not how Mark actually thinks or plays. Actually,
I mean,
it's quite opposite. I think, if anything, I mean, we may get another wide receiver. That's a possibility.
How would you feel if y'all get Egbuka on draft night? How would you feel?
I mean, all right with it. I mean, like we just signed D Hop, and we just signed D Hop in free agency. So now we have Zay Bateman, D Hop, uh, Tez Walker from last draft, who still has some run. So honestly, in this receiver room, we're kind of full, kind of full. I see
He's more
it's.
like a 1 year run though. He's not going to be like someone who's going to be here for like long term. Zay
Yeah,
Fly,
yeah. He's like
Mecca
Sammy
Ibuka,
Watkins for y'all. Y'all
yeah,
have signed a lot of washed wide
I mean,
receivers.
yeah. Like
we
look at
we
Odell
could
Beckham.
we
Like he's
could
the
get
Odell Beckham
another.
for y'all.
We like I said, we could get another wide receiver. But like I said, we just got Tez Walker, so that'd be like we would just be like we still have Nelly. I don't know why, but we do. Um,
None of those wide receivers on the end of the depth chart is moving y'all further at all.
Yeah,
Respectfully,
like
actually,
those like
hold up. Let me
those
they're
wide
finish.
receivers
First
drafted
off,
in the fourth
first that's
round
my
and stuff
thing.
not going to
Tez
move the
Walker
needle.
did not get much run last year. And when he did,
he wasn't good enough.
he looked. But when he did, he looked it good. That's what Tez
Of
Walker is
course.
already that receiver that we're looking for. That big body, that guy that can go up and get it. That's him. That's Tez Walker. He's not. We don't really necessarily need another Safe Flowers because that's basically what Bateman. They're like pretty much the same style of wide receiver. Like we already got like basically two Safe Flowers. So I mean, I wouldn't be mad at the pick. Don't get me wrong. Like, okay, that's but like
So
looking
there's
at the team, I'm like, there's a lot more other stuff that is on our list that it kind of would be. I think we would need to like, all right, well, we can get a better pick for a certain any other position at the moment because
wow.
we're like trying to fill in the hole right now.
Wow. Um, I hear you, but I got to go Egbuka. I mean, on the board, you got Mike Green, Donovan Jackson, guard. You got Donovan Ezeraku, edge rusher. So it's like it's players there, but I went Egbuka because I felt like he really could fit with you guys really good scheme wise as
I mean,
well.
is there any corners still left on the board? Because that might be.
There's corners left in the board, but there's no corner that's ranked within the top
Yeah,
32
like
players.
everybody.
I
Yeah,
mean, there's a guy
anybody
that
We
I'll
still
probably
tell
might
you
taking
about
draft
this.
one.
There's
I
a
think
guy
that's honestly what we're waiting for.
there is a guy I got to shout out, and you're gonna see where he goes, but I got him going to a different team. But shout out Jump Ball Sports. We'll jump ball training. We'll get to that. But next on the clock is the Detroit Lions, and this is the part where I had to disappoint a lot of Washington fans, man.
Not
The
Mike Green.
Yes, the Detroit
Not
Lions are
Mike
selecting
Green.
Marshall edge rusher Mike Green. They're going to put him on the other side of Aiden Hutchinson, and they're going to have one of the greatest edge rushing duos in the NFL currently. And I think that's a really good pick for the Lions. They kept complaining about edge rusher, their fans, and what rightfully so, because their depth was diminished. I think if I was the Lions head coach or the GM, not only do you need to draft Mike Green, you need to bring back Zadarius Smith as well. Like, I don't see why why not bring them both?
Yeah, I mean, man, that would be tough. Mike Green going pick ahead. I would be like, dang, he was one pick ahead. I would be like, we should just trade with the Ravens to get Mike Green. But, um, you know, yeah, this is a good pick for the Lions. Getting someone on the other side of Aiden Hutchinson be to basically have that player develop and stuff. Learning from Aiden Hutchinson. And stuff. So I say that this is a good pick for the Lions and stuff. So yeah, I do like this pick for Lions, but not as a Washington fan.
Next pick, I got it. Hey, the Commanders are on the clock, but guess what?
Trading
Trade
back,
alert! Trade alert!
trading back.
The Washington Commanders trade out of pick 29, and they trade with none other than the
Then the
Kansas
Browns.
City
Oh, the
Chiefs, pick
Kansas City.
31. And the Kansas City Chiefs trade up to pick 29, and they select Donovan Jackson, guard, Ohio State. Now, hear me out on this. The Chiefs just lost some offensive line firepower to the Bears. They lost the offensive lineman to the Bears. I think that it was a trade. I
It
don't
was
think
a
it was
trade.
wrong. But
Joe
yeah, I think
Tooney.
the Chiefs, while they already have a stacked O line, they do need to get some more depth. And I don't see that as an issue getting depth first round, because I think Donovan Jackson could start. He's versatile. He can go to tackle. He can go to guard. He's versatile. I think that in the league, Donovan Jackson will be really good for the Chiefs. He can learn and develop around some really good offensive tackles and offensive guards. And I said the Chiefs doing that because you saw the way that their O-line got destroyed in the Super Bowl. So clearly they weren't good enough. They need to improve that.
Yeah, I do like this pick for Chiefs, but just losing out, just losing Joe Tooney to the Bears and stuff, just basically um getting younger on the offensive line. Like Joe Tooney, he's still one of the best at his position, but he was definitely getting up there in age. And the Chiefs, they feel like that they probably just need to go the younger approach here and stuff. So again, Donovan Jackson is definitely the right route. I say the Chiefs should definitely do, or just getting someone on the offensive line.
Yeah, and to me, Donovan Jackson, 6'4", 320, one of the most underrated guards in this class, one of the most underrated old linemen. But going to the next pick, going to the next pick, Buffalo Bills. I got the Bills selecting um, cornerback out of Notre Dame, Benjamin Morrison, who, guys, a few weeks ago, or probably a month ago by now, we had jump ball athletic trainer, the founder of Jump Ball Training, Preston Hale, joined us on live. And guess who Preston Hale trains? He trains Benjamin Morrison,
Morrison.
one of the best DBs in this class. I watched his combine interview. This guy has to be the most humble, down to earth guy in the class. He seems like a very humble guy. And although I haven't met him, obviously, just watching how this guy speaks, he's very humble. He recovered from an injury, and he was just talking about the life lessons that he's learned as a young man, growing, and how he's preparing for his NFL journey. And aside from all the word salad and aside from the good feel stuff, he's a good football player. He's a good football player, and the Buffalo Bills need some DB help. Their DBs constantly getting cooked left and right by Chiefs wide receivers.
What about our DBs, bro? I asked for a DB, and then you was like, "Oh, they ain't nobody," and then you gonna go ahead and then throw this guy out here. All right, what is that?
Well,
Howard.
let me explain.
Oh,
So
now I
first
got
of
to
all,
explain. You just wanted him to go there.
Morrison's
He's
not ranked.
tampering. This is illegal tampering. He
The
is
illegal
tampering.
tampering, so the Chiefs, I mean, so the Bills could keep going,
So the Bills can sit here and keep winning games and having good DBs
keep
and
beating the
players.
Ravens and
Yeah,
stuff.
like trying to yeah. Oh, I know who put you
That's
up to
dumb,
this.
man.
I know exactly who put you up to this. This makes perfect sense.
Nah, but he actually did not. But I know what you're thinking. No, that's not what happened. But no, I
Sure.
just think Benjamin Morrison. I wouldn't have y'all have him because at the same time I think that he's really good. But I even putting him in the first round for me is risky. I put him in there because I feel like he deserves to be in there. But on most mock drafts, he's in the late second round, or mid second round. So he's rated like on this mock board I'm looking at right now. Shout out to Mockout, the draft app. He's rated as the 34th overall prospect in this class. So I have him right at pick 30 to the Buffalo Bills. And then moving on to pick 31, the Washington Commanders. I know you guys have been waiting for this pick. One of the best teams in the NFL almost made the Super Bowl. They pick later than the Ravens, just putting that out there.
There it goes,
So
man.
the Commanders select. Y'all not gonna like this, dog. Y'all are not gonna like
Is
this,
it
man.
edge rusher? Is edge rusher Isaac
Y'all,
Bossa?
listen. Y'all are not gonna like this pick, but you know what? It ain't about what you like. Well, guess what? The Washington Commanders select Omarion Hampton, running back, UNC. And let me tell you why, because I'm passionate about this pick. I'm so hyped. Omarion Hampton and Ashton Johnson, to me, I'm gonna have to do a video on this. To me, that's 1A, 1B. Omarion Hampton is right there with Ashton Johnson. Turn on the tape and tell me he's not. Omarion Hampton, to me, there's no reason he should not be a first round draft pick. The only reason he's not in the first round is because of the collective. Like I told you guys earlier, it's a lot of players in positions who play running back. They're punished because of the collective. The guys are getting underpaid because of the collective. But to me, I don't buy into all that. Saquon Barkley should be one of the highest players in the league. Why isn't he? Because of his collective position. Omarion Hampton should be one of the top picked players in this class because he's definitely one of the best players in this class. He's definitely one of the most talented. He's an elite running back, but I have him fallen to 28. Why? Because of his collective position. Same reason with Ashton Johnson. He's fallen out the top 10 because of his collective position. But there's no reason that the Commanders don't take this move. Go get Omarion Hampton. It's no slight to B-Rob. B-Rob is still on the roster to me. He can be a power back. We could possibly even have our own Gibbs and Montgomery with him and Omarion Hampton. But to me, I pass on edge rusher. I go get Hampton if he's there. It might come back to bite us, but I just don't think that Omarion Hampton's gonna be there in the second round. And yes, we could go Travion Henderson. Yes, we could go with Scatterbo or other dude out of Ohio State. His name is skipping me right now. Judkins. We could go Judkins. We could do that. But to me, y'all not like the whole thing with like, oh, there's so many good running backs in this class. No, I'm telling you, I'm gonna say it like this, guys. There's Ashton Johnson, there's Omarion Hampton, and then there's everybody else. I'm being honest. That's what it is. Omarion Hampton, star. I got him going to the Commanders.
I like this pick because as long as it results in Commanders getting edge rusher in second round, which I hope they definitely do get. I do like this pick getting Omarion Hampton. I say getting Omarion Hampton, he would be more of like. 'Cause I do like the comparison of what Detroit have, but Omarion Hampton to me he could be like the number one feature running back, like just the whole year we get him, like where even because he's big. Like he's a Bowden like big running back that just also happened to be fast. He's not a fast running back that's also big. So him
He's a
being
burst.
like
He's
the number.
he's going to find. He's like his speedster. He hits the hole and he takes off. And that's
Yeah,
something we don't have on the roster.
yeah, like his speed and stuff. Because people would say, "Oh, he's just like a Bowden running back." No, he has like a real burst to him. Like he's like easy one of the fastest running backs in this class and stuff, and he will automatically be Washington's fastest running back on the roster. So me personally, I would like this pick for Washington. They get Amari Hampton. It would definitely like I would say basically take all of Austin Eckler, you know, carries away and basically half of Brian Robinson carries and then just give it all to Amari Hampton. I mean like he's getting probably like about a good 27, 28 carries per game, something like that.
Oh shoot, man! Hey, we
Yeah,
can't
I
run him
mean,
into the ground too bad. Cause listen, we gonna need Hampton for some years, dog. We can't run him into the ground too bad.
yeah,
I
I
say
do
give him
get
20
that.
carries. We
I
still got
do
to give
get
carries
that.
to the other backs too.
Yeah, I do get that, but I mean, like, he has a chance to be like really. Because to me, Amari Hampton, he reminds me of like a more uh bulldozing Bijan Robinson in Atlanta.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far. I would say to me,
You
Hampton.
wouldn't?
I see a little bit of DeMarco Murray.
DeMarco Murray?
Yeah, I see a little
Oh,
bit of
okay.
DeMarco Murray.
I never thought about that. I never thought about that
I mean,
comparison.
he's an OG, so it's been a while, but
Yeah, yeah, I do. Yeah, but
but pick 32. Hey, you know who's on the clock? You know who's on the clock?
Eagles, those dirty birds.
The Super Bowl
Those
champion.
dirty birds.
I got to give respect to them. They earned it. Their fans are crazy, but they earned it. The Super Bowl champions, pick 32. I have the Philadelphia Eagles selecting. And before I say who it is, I already know this is going to piss off Washington fans too. I have the Philadelphia Eagles selecting edge rusher Donovan Izaraku, Boston College. I know this is going to be one of the biggest stories of the draft. The Commanders pass up on edge rusher Donovan Izaraku, and Eagles steal him at 32 because they just lost Josh Sweat. They need to replace him, and pretty much all the players the Eagles lost are pretty much replaceable. They are. I don't see why Donovan Izaraku, whose name sounds awesome, sounds like a Pokemon character. It's awesome. Donovan Izaraku,
This sound like
I
a
don't see why he
Pokemon.
can't come in year one and match Josh Sweat his production. He can match that.
Yeah, he definitely could get like that 7, 8 sacks, type season. Like as a Washington fan on draft night, I would be a little bit like disappointed, like a little bit like, because Washington didn't draft edge rusher and the edge rusher who most people, I won't say most people, because I say because Washington had late round draft pick that this good edge rusher has a chance to be right there. That Washington was expected to probably get um went to their rival and stuff. I want to say like I would be a little bit upset about that, but as long as Washington get one of the Ohio State players on day 2, I'll be okay. I say that. Either Jack Warrior or JT, one of those players, Tom Maloa. I think one of those players, Washington get one of them. I'll be okay. I'll be okay with it.
Now, what do you guys think? Should we go? If we can keep it at round one if you guys want to, but there's a lot of missing. See, there's no context to round one if I don't go to round two. So I could go round one and round two if y'all are down for that. What do you think?
Um, you go around till you want. You
Jalen?
definitely go.
Let me see. I mean, if you want.
All right, all right. I'm gonna go to round two, and I'm gonna leave it at that because I know we running long, long the
Yeah.
clock. But round two, pick 32, 33, the first pick of the second round. I have the Cleveland Browns selecting Ole Miss quarterback Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart has the
That's where
highest
you went.
potential out of all the quarterbacks in this class. He's the most underrated, and guess what? I think he can do a really good job for the Cleveland Browns in year one. I think he can get them 6 or 7 wins. I really do.
Yeah, Jackson Dart. He definitely Because right now, I would say this. I mean, it's been a bunch. I've been saying like it's been a bunch of still drafts and stuff, but Jackson Dart, he would definitely be um, one of the best picks I would say Cleveland has made in the past recent years, where it's like, oh, a player who was like expected to be drafted higher, but did a little sliding. And Cleveland is the team that ends up of all, Cleveland of all teams is the team that ends up with them. So yeah, I'll say this would be a good pick, for Cleveland and good start to the draft for them too.
Jalen, your thoughts?
Um, honestly, I agree. Uh, Cleveland is one of those teams. I feel like they're like a shipwreck. They got problems everywhere. So at least this is a start in the right direction. I'd say like that's a good pick. Try to start crossing off the list of things that need to be fixed. So I think that's a good pick.
For sure. Going to the next pick, the New York Giants at pick 34, second round. I got them selecting Trey Amos out of Ole Miss DB. Um, I mean that's self-explanatory. Their secondary isn't really that good outside of Deontay Banks. They need some more help. But
Yeah.
continuing on, just to keep it quick, keep it moving with pace. Tennessee Titans. I got them selecting offensive tackle Ariante Ursery, offensive tackle Minnesota. I'm trying to pronounce that correctly
Okay.
because that is
I
one
do know what you're
great.
talking about because I was like,
Is it
who? But then
Ariante?
once you said, um, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how to,
I think it's
pronounce this name either.
Yeah, I'm
I
about to
think
say
it's
that name's
Ariante
mad hard to pronounce.
Ariante Ursery. I think that's his name.
You got it good enough to me.
Yeah, that's probably the best we're gonna get in.
Yeah,
So
yeah, you probably did better than what I would have did. So but yeah, yeah, this is a good pick for your
Titans need
Giants.
if see my rule that I have is if you're gonna draft a franchise quarterback, you have to draft a franchise offensive tackle too.
Well, you
So
said Giants?
no, I said Titans.
Oh, Titans. I thought this was the Giants pick. Okay.
Now they
Yeah,
gotta match up an O lineman. If you're gonna draft Cam Ward, you have to draft the O lineman with him too, right there.
yeah,
So
you definitely do. You definitely do.
Jaguars, I got the Jaguars going to select Trey Harris, wide receiver, Ole Miss, back to back Ole Miss picks, or not back to back, but right there with each other.
Yeah, 2 and 3 picks.
Jaguars could use this one because for real, their wide receivers really could use some work. They just signed De'Ami Brown, but newsflash, he's not moving the needle for them. So
He
well, they
definitely
need
is
to go
not.
get a real receiver who actually has some big time talent. And I'm not trying to hate on De'Ami, but let's be real
Yeah,
now. Let's be serious, okay?
they also
he
had. I
went a
think
little too
didn't they
much.
have Calvin Ridley 2 years ago?
Yeah, but he's on
Yeah,
the Titans now.
he on the Titans
They
now. They
wasted
had
his
Brian
time there.
Thomas though.
Yeah, we
They did.
wasted. Yeah, that was just a waste of time for him.
Yeah, they have Brian Thomas now.
Yeah,
Right.
Jaguars. So he would be a good addition.
Yeah, so you got to pair someone up with him because you got to give somebody. All see in year one, no one's expecting it. Year two, everyone's going to expect BTJ to do what he did. So you got to give somebody. You have to draft someone who's going to get the focus off of him, and to open up a space for him. Or at least if you're going to put all the focus on BTJ, it's going to open up the space for somebody else. And quite frankly, I don't know too much about Trey Harris, but I'll tell you this: what I do know about him, I'd say that if all the focus is on BTJ and you need a second or third wide receiver to step up, I'd be more confident in Trey Harris than I am in De'Ami Brown.
Yeah, definitely. Because
Sorry,
De'Ami
not
Brown,
sorry.
he had a good 2 games, but
He had a little Cinderella run. He had a little. It was a good
no,
run. It was a good
it
three
was
game run
good.
that he had.
Yeah,
He
but I
decided to
remember like
play
the games
good for
against
three.
Steelers and stuff.
We had him for what 3-4 years, and he decided to play good in like what 5 games.
His last 2 games. I remember last year in that Steelers game when he literally dropped the wide open touchdown. Like, I'm like, bro. So
Yeah, we
yeah,
not. You know what? Best of success to Diami. We're not hating on you, brother. Keep doing your
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
We just glad you off our team. No disrespect.
Yeah.
Um, but going to the Las Vegas Raiders, I got the Raiders going to get a tackle too. Like I said, they just drafted Shador. And like I said, with the Titans, you draft the quarterback, you got to get an old tackle. I'm going to get offensive tackle Wyatt Mullum out of WVU, offensive tackle. Going to New England, I got the Patriots going to get an edge rusher, Landon Jackson. I know Will's not going to like that. It's another edge rusher off the board.
Edge rusher. I mean, Ryan Jackson, he okay, but he's not the edge rusher I really wanted though. So I say I'm okay with this one. I'm okay with this edge rusher.
Okay. Going to the next pick, Chicago Bears on the clock. I think the Chicago Bears go safety Xavier Watts out of Notre Dame. Going to the Saints, I got them selecting offensive guard Gray Zabel, who honestly, it's crazy that he's still on the board at this point because on the mock draft prospect, numbers, he's ranked as the 29th best prospect. He's ranked as the first round prospect, but he's still on the board. So I got the Saints. Like I said, you got to bolster up the trenches. If you want Derek Carr on his last legs to at least have a chance to compete in your sorry division, because I'm calling it sorry because the NFC South is sorry. He has to at least have some O-line, D-line help. So, stack up the trenches. You get Gray Zabel out of North Dakota State guard. But I know I'm rambling, but let's keep it going. Round 2, pick 41, the Bears on the clock. I think the Bears go. This is tough. You know what? I think the Bears trade back. I'm looking at the board right now. I think they trade back. The Chicago Bears trade back with none other than the Dallas Cowboys. And the Dallas Cowboys trade up for a specific player that I think would be very beneficial for their team. And that is none other than Carson. How do you say that? Schwarzenegger? No way. Carson Schwarzenegger. UCL.
Oh, okay.
Carson Schwarzenegger. That's
yeah. So, no, I don't think it's Schwarzenegger. I'm joking. It's Schwarzenegger. You know what? I'm not going to pronounce that.
I think I know who you're talking about. I know who that is.
Yeah, but they need linebacker help, and I think he's actually a solid linebacker. He has some speed to him. It's something about the Cowboys linebackers. They're always getting hurt. They're always retiring from injuries, neck injuries, ACLs, MCLs. Like, I don't know what kind of curse is surrounding the Cowboys linebackers, but hopefully that doesn't affect Carson because we don't want no bad things to happen to Carson. Hopefully he plays good for 17 weeks out of the 18 week, let me say 16 weeks out of the 18 because, he plays Washington twice. We don't want him to play good against us. But
I would say then 15.
Yeah, play good 16 out of 18.
I would say 15 because it's 17 games in the season and he played Washington twice. So, 15.
Yeah, got you. Going next up, I got the New York Jets. This is tough because I really was going to see. Let's see. It's tough, but I'm going to have to do it. New York Jets, I got them selecting Colston Loveland out of Michigan. Like I said, Justin Fields, he needs weapons. He needs all the weapons he can get. It's not. I know he has Garrett Wilson, his former college teammate, but Colston Loveland is one of the best tight ends in this draft, arguably the best tight end. He's up there with the guy.
Wait, does he still have Devontae Adams?
Adams is to the Rams. He left the Jets. He's gone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Adams is gone, and he's a little washed too, but he's still solid though. He could give you 1,000. So I'm not gonna hate on Da. I'm just gonna say that his time is dwindling down, and we're gonna see what he gets out of LA this year. But going on, I think you could have made the case that the 49ers could have done this first round, but they're going to do it second. 49ers select offensive tackle Josh Connerly Jr., offensive tackle Oregon. They need some O-line help. The 49ers do. Trent Williams is getting older. And honestly, I think it would be better to draft his replacement or his peer you can put him on the right tackle, you can put him on guard, or you could just draft his replacement now rather than later because he gets that mentorship while he's still in the roster. And it's going to be interesting to see how that transpires. But I think they do need some O-line help. Going to the pick that the Chicago Bears traded back, they traded back with the Dallas Cowboys, and I think that the Chicago Bears go get yet another D lineman, Derek Harmon, who was ranked as the 41st best prospect in this class out of Oregon. They go get another D lineman just to stack the
Stack
trenches.
that line up, I guess.
Yeah, stack the lineup, and that was more like of a BPA. It's not a huge need considering that they just got Grady and they got some good pieces. But hey, why not stack it? Continue to stack it. Grady's old too. He's getting older, so it's like he's not gonna be there long. So, Colts get a D tackle, Kenneth Grant out of Michigan. Can't go wrong with Michigan D tackles. They the big dogs. Atlanta, I got them selecting another D tackle, Walter Nolan, Ole Miss. Arizona is on the clock. It's tough. It's tough with Arizona, but I think they select Cameron Williams from Texas, offensive tackle. He's honestly one of the most. I'm gonna be honest. He's one of the most underrated old tackles in this class. I would love to see him in Washington. I really would. I really would.
He is a good player.
And
That's a solid pick.
going to the Miami. Yes, it's a solid pick. I think it's fitting. I really wanted to see Cam Williams in Dallas, honestly, but it didn't really shake out with how the board is looking right now. It's not shaking out very well. So I think Arizona is pretty solid. You can block for K1. Going to the Miami Dolphins, I think they go D-line, Tyleik Williams. When John Allen was available for trade, honestly, and even when he was available for free agency, one of the top teams I would have thought would be interested was the Miami Dolphins, and they did make a move on him. So, but they do need D-line help. Ever since Christian Watkins went to the Raiders, they've had that missing piece in the middle. Go get a D-line. That's what they need to do. Out of Ohio State, Tyleik Williams, D tackle. Moving on, continuing. Cincinnati Bengals could really use a tight end. Even looking at their roster, I think that there's still some weapons they can add to the room. And I think Harold Phantom Jr. out of Bowling Green is a good pick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
He definitely is
I guess they
definitely will
could.
improve
They
their
could do that.
he definitely will improve their, skill position group and stuff. And just because Harold Fanning Jr., he's just the type of player that just like he has the potential to be like the player that you have to account for. Just make sure where he is at all times on the field. So I'll say that is definitely a good pick.
Right. Hey, gotta get weapons. But
Yeah.
moving on with that, Seattle Seahawks are on the clock. I have them selecting guard Tate Ratledge out of Georgia. I don't care what anybody says. When it comes to the trenches, if that brother says, you see the name and it says Georgia, you already know you're getting a dog. Let's move on. We know he's a dog. He's a dog. You're getting a dog. You get someone from Georgia who's in the trenches. He's a dog. He's a dog. So that's a good pick for Seattle. Tate Ratledge. Going to Denver. I think Denver surprises people again and drafts DB in the second round. I got them getting. I have them selecting. Just pulling it up here. You know what? Hold up. You know what? Actually, I got the Broncos trading back. I got the Broncos trading back. We're gonna switch that up. Tampa Bay. You said what?
I was just laughing.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers trade up with the Broncos. I had to make it more realistic for a second. I had to think about something because it's the second round. Everybody's going to be trading. They trade picks a lot in the second round.
They do.
Buccaneers trade up for another DB, and they go get Azariah Thompson. The Buccaneers, outside of Jamel Dean, I don't see a DB in their room that can't go. I don't see one. I mean, maybe Antoine Winfield, but I'm talking about just strictly cornerbacks. They need more cornerbacks. Azariah Thompson out of Florida State. I mean, Florida State DBs, hey, he's good with me. Bring him in. Bring him in. Seattle's on the clock. Seattle goes and gets a wide receiver threat to really complement Sam Darnold at quarterback to get him yet another weapon outside of just, the vets that are in the room with Cooper Kupp and JSN is in the second year, but they go out and get another type of wide receiver that they really don't have on the roster currently, and that's a speedster. And they go get wide receiver Isaiah Bond out of Texas to Seattle. Going to Denver. Denver's on the clock. I think Denver goes ahead and they get an edge rusher from Ohio State, JT Tumaloa. Goodness gracious. Tumaloa. I think it's Tumaloa. Yeah, JT Tumaloa out of edge rusher out of Ohio State. Is it Tumaloa?
Yeah, it's Tumaloa. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Okay. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Going to the next pick, I got the Green Bay Packers selecting Kentucky DB Maxwell Hairston. Maxwell Hairston, really good DB, very fast. One of the best DBs in this class. I got to do some more research on him because I really think he could possibly fall to the Commanders. But Maxwell Hairston fits the Packers what they're building on the defensive end, especially with all these rumors saying they might trade my guy. Help me out.
Jair Alexander.
DB.
Jair Alexander.
Yeah, Jair Alexander.
Yeah, they might.
There's rumors they might trade him. So they need DB help.
He might come to Baltimore. That'd be nice. Yeah.
For sure, that would be interesting. But I don't think that would be possible. Sorry. But
I think it is. That's why we're reconstructing so much. We reconstructed so many contracts. You don't understand. So we have it.
But still, like for the long term of it, I don't know if it would be a good fit.
Oh no, we drafted one, but we definitely
coming up.
We might get him. We drafted a DB, but we just for the long term.
Going to the next pick, I got the Chargers getting Darian Porter, DB out of Iowa State. Pick 56, Buffalo Bills. I got the Bills selecting Princely oh my goodness. Umanemalon. You know what?
The edge rusher out of Ole Miss. I know you're talking about.
Yeah, edge rusher out of Ole Miss, Princely. I've heard a lot about him. I think he would fit with the Bills because even though they signed Joey Bosa, I believe that's only a 1-year deal, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sorry, Joey Bosa. I'm not here for the hype. I didn't even want him to
walk. Move the needle.
Fans were. You said what?
That's not gonna move the needle for me. Like, we signed Joey Bosa. Like, okay.
Like he's depth at this point. He's depth. He
is.
And
he's injury prone too.
And he's not. To me, he's just not a good character guy in the locker room either. You can't be bad at football and have a diva personality. Like you just can't. You got to pick one. So
apparently his brother is racist. Is he racist too? Who knows?
We're not even gonna get into that. We're gonna let them do what they choose to do. I'm not even here to get that. Just we're gonna keep it football. And hey, you can't be a crappy person and a crappy football player. Because trust me, there's a lot of great football players who are crappy people, but there's not a lot of crappy
people and crappy football players.
You can't be both.
You really can't. Like you gotta pick one or two.
There's no such thing as Dylan Brooks in the NFL. So
Yeah, there's no Dylan Brooks in the NFL. Like you can't be Benjamin St.
Yeah.
Juice band talking crazy. Like you
Oh
better pipe
no.
down with all that. So,
Oh,
but
he would be in
Down.
CFL if he did any talking. Trust and believe me.
going to so a lot of people know this receiver because of what he did to Travis Hunter. And he mossed that boy. Yeah, I'm talking about Alec Ayamainer out of Stanford. I have him being selected number 57 overall, second round to the Carolina Panthers. I think the Panthers could really use another receiver. Like I said, they need weapons on weapons because Bryce Young, while the O line is bad, I get that. Bryce Young's a playmaker, meaning that he's going to find a way to go get it. And they already paid a big sum of money to Robert Hunt when they got him from the Miami Dolphins. They paid a big sum of money and they overpaid for that guy, right? I think Alec Ayamainer, if you go watch his film, very underrated, really good player. Like I said, would love a player like that in Washington, but obviously we're not quite there yet. We're still waiting on the clock, and I don't think we're moving for the time being. We're going to see, but as the clock continues, as the draft continues, next up on the board, the Houston Texans go out and get a receiver themselves, and they select Jaden Higgins, wide receiver, Iowa State. With the departure, and they let him go with Stephon Diggs, and then also the injuries of Tank Dell. The Texans, wide receiver core is pretty much down to Nico Collins and Mechie. I think they need
They
another
also
guy.
got Christian Kirk.
You said what?
They also have Christian Kirk. They did trade for him, but he's like a dead piece though.
Yeah, Kirk he's good for returning punts and making running slants, quick routes. But I think Higgins will be. I'm just saying, I think Higgins will be a good addition.
He will be, to add you to that room.
Baltimore Ravens are on the clock again. They are on the clock.
Let's see if you get this pick right.
I got the Baltimore Ravens selecting guard Jonah Salvanea out of Arizona.
Okay, yeah. I have no complaints.
I thought bro was ready to hate that. I thought he was gonna be like, "Who is that? Who is that?"
Who
Okay.
is this? Who is this bum you guys drafting too? Oh, are you working for the Bills? Like,
No, not the
Yeah, he
first pick.
thinks I'm
Yeah,
a
for
Bills
sure. He's working
insider.
for the Bills.
He thinks I'm
But
a Bills insider.
yeah, I know who you're working for. He be on the live sometimes, but it's okay. I'm not gonna say names. I know that y'all be in cahoots working together, but it's fine. The Ravens gonna do what they do anyway, so it's cool.
But yeah, next up, pick 60, second round. I got I got a Detroit Lions selecting. I got a Detroit Lions selecting another edge rusher by the name of Bradlyn Switson. Like I said, you got to stack the edge rushing, and he's out of LSU. You go ahead and get him. If you're not going to bring back Zadarius Smith, just go ahead and stack the D line. Just stack the edge rusher. Just go ahead. It's nothing wrong with getting depth. With the Commanders, I think they have a lot of options here. Okay, so this is where it gets interesting. And I think the Commanders at this point should trade back again. They should trade back again. They're going to trade back with the Philadelphia Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles are going to trade up with the Commanders.
they trade with the Eagles.
Yeah, we're trading with the Eagles again, just like we did last year. And before y'all hate on it, the Eagles trade up. The Eagles trade up and they go draft wide receiver Jalen Noel. If you look at the Eagles receiving core, it's AJ Brown, it's Devontae Smith, and after that, it's full of guys who are replaceable. They need a serviceable, really good developmental wide receiver 3. Jalen Noel can go in and do exactly what Jahan Dotson's doing. I don't see why he can't. Jahan
Dotson, he is replaceable. Yeah,
he's replaceable. I like Jahan. My God,
I don't know why everybody like crapping on the Jahan Dotson. Jahan Dotson could potentially be a number 2, number 3 receiver on any other team as well. He's not bad.
He's not, but
yeah, he would totally be better than your receivers, wouldn't he? No, I'm joking.
That's
I
crazy.
mean, hey, uh, he might be.
No, don't do that. That's
Hey, all you need to know is Jahan Dotson would still be in Washington if it wasn't for the fact that he was getting beat out in training camp by De'Ami
By
Brown.
De'Ami Brown. Yeah, he was
Like
getting beat out by De'Ami
he
Brown
got
with like
traded because he was
arm
getting
legs,
work.
his keys. Like, no way he getting
Zacchaeus
beat
is
out by
a
his
interesting receiver. Not gonna lie, like he may be up and down, but like
keys.
he's
He
He
does
just
had a good
good.
year last year, I will say. He did play good for
yeah,
Washington.
he played
How
consistent
many TDs
good
got
football.
called back? He was good.
Yeah, he definitely did. He was Washington's second leading receiver from the receiver position, I should say. Because,
Honestly,
Zach,
if Zacchaeus, if all of his TDs that like were called back counted, bro, his stats would have been crazy.
it definitely would have been.
But moving on, Buffalo Bills on the clock. I think the Bills go ahead and get another running back to pair with um, Cook. They get another running back to pair with Cook. They go get Caleb Johnson out of
Oh,
Iowa.
okay, I was about to say, who's that?
Caleb Johnson out of Iowa. Yep. And continuing on, this is where it gets interesting because the Chiefs already have a good running back, but guess what? They're going to get another one. On the clock, the Chiefs select a guy by the name of Quinshawn Judkins. Yes, I have Quinshawn
And
Judkins
Sean
going to the
Jenkins.
Kansas City Chiefs. They're going to go get
Okay.
another guy who has the burst. And with the final pick of the second round before we end the live, the Washington Commanders select Kyle Kennard out of South Carolina, edge rusher.
Who?
Kyle Kennard, South Carolina.
So, with Jack Sawyer right there? Jack Sawyer?
Kyle Kennard. I mean, as far as I'm looking on the board right now, Jack Sawyer is not up there yet, but Kyle Kennard is the highest ranked edge rusher at
Wow.
this point in the draft. On the board, you got
Wow.
Jalen Milroe, you got Jared Wilson, Trevion Henderson. If you want to double up on running back, Andrew Makuba, safety, Mason Taylor, tight end, wide receiver, Xavier Restapro, who I'm good off that. He's kind of slow.
Yeah.
Kyle Kennard, let me get edge rusher Kyle Kennard out of South Carolina. Your thoughts?
I do like the pick. I do like the, position value that they're getting at edge rusher. Um, I just so I like the pick. I do like the pick. I do like the pick that we're getting edge rusher. It could be like, from the start a head scratcher, but then it definitely will be a pick that most people could get behind and be like, okay, he's gonna be the next Michael Parsons or something. So, it's definitely like a pick that, I could get behind and stuff. So I like it.
Jill,
Yeah.
you think it's a good pick? What's your thoughts?
Um,
I don't know if you know too much about Kyle Kennard, but yeah, edge rusher, South
no,
Carolina.
I'm thinking about. I mean, I think it's a good pick. I think it's always a good pick to go edge rusher. Um, but I don't know. I feel like they felt. I feel like maybe they could have went somewhere. I mean, honestly, I think it's a good pick.
Yeah.
I just kind of. I don't know. I just looking at it. I don't see Jalen Milroe going all the way. I see him like somewhere in the
You
second
don't think he's
round.
falling that
I
far?
mean, nah, I don't see him going this way. Honestly, I might see him leaving sometime, maybe late first round.
Mm. Wow, I don't know about all that.
I don't know about first round because he's a good quarterback, but I mean, if a team could look at Jalen Murrow and be like, okay, he could be like a Jalen Hurts to our team or something. I mean, they need to then build like a stack team around him. But if they could make themselves think like that, then maybe pick him in the first round. But other than that, I see him probably going like mid to late second round.
Yeah, something like that. So,
Yeah, for sure. But to wrap up the live, y'all, I just want to say thank you guys for watching. We had some really good picks, really good selections. Um, Guys, make sure you like up the stream, like up the live stream, share the live stream, comment your thoughts on the picks. What are your thoughts on the selections? If you agreed with the pick, if you didn't agree with the pick, share it in the comments. Engage. Go ahead and share your thoughts. But William, Jalen, you guys have any last words? It's been a fun live.
Um,
It was
Todd's
just
rigged the draft, and he's trying to help the Bills beat us to be next year, but that's not going to happen.
yeah.
Regardless,
But you know what you need to do? Go watch Benjamin Morrison. If you're so mad that I didn't put him on the Ravens, go watch his film.
I'll go watch some film. That's what we've been doing for the past, couple weeks. I'll be watching film with some of these guys to see if I can catch anything. 'Cause, I remember a couple years ago, I was like, I caught my eye on a running back named of Keaton Mitchell, and we still have him right now. But he played a little bit last year, but he's
He
coming
was
back from
good.
an injury.
Yeah, he definitely was good last
First
year.
year, he was putting up some crazy plays for his first year. So, but then he got injured towards ACL.
Yeah, I do
Thing.
remember he turns ACL last year.
Yeah, and then this year last year football he's trying to come back from that. It's honestly
Yeah.
amazing that he was on the field, but that's one guy I was like I called out from the beginning. I was telling people, anybody that was listening, I'm like, bro, I'm telling you, Keaton's gonna be different. And they're like, bro, who is Keaton, bro? Who is that? I'm
Yeah, so
like,
it's always those hidden gems in the draft. Like people don't know
tell
until
you.
they know. You feel me?
Exactly. Like you're like, all right, you'll see. And then the next thing you know, just wait, and then that player just takes off, and you're like, I tried to tell y'all. But
Yeah. But like, I say one thing, Aaron Peters, just don't draft anybody where it's considered a reach. Draft players at needs, but not reaches. So if the
yeah,
best player available, Washington want to go best player available, then do that. But all I gotta say is Washington go win the Super Bowl next year. Yeah.
Hey, we gonna see, dog.
next
I'll
year's
say this:
crazy.
we want to win the Super Bowl. We got to make some big adjustments in this draft class because
Yep.
our roster's not built for it right now.
It's not. But Jane Daniels is built better for February than Lamar Jackson, I should say.
Hey, I can't argue with that because
What you mean, bro? It's just
obviously with the fact that Jaden carried his less fortunate team to the NFC Championship in his rookie season, clearly shows that he's a better playoff performer than Lamar.
Yeah.
There's no
hmm
disrespect. It's just the
Yeah,
facts.
it's just the facts. It's just
It's
like,
just the
just
facts.
going
But
going off what we see and stuff.
anyway.
So
So that'll be it for the live. It's crazy. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.
all right, y'all
all right.
have a good one.